All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I think we can start now because it's 3:05 p.m. and we can start. So thank you. Let me use this opportunity to thank you all for making time to be here. And I know before in my conversations with business owners, and I know a lot of you signed up for this webinar and will be which I believe most already, and some other persons will still join us later. I believe everyone can hear me. Please, if you hear me, just you can use the reaction button. So let me be sure. All right. Thank you so much. So yeah. So and I hope a whole lot of us are business owners based on the form we filled and based on registration. And I know that it is incredibly hard to actually run a business right now. And a lot of us have been working long hours, and there's something still missing, which I believe quite a number of us also would have noticed. Maybe sometimes the sales, you're not making sales as you want, and maybe you find yourself that you are working much more than three people. Like, I mean, a lot of people think that being self-employed or being a business owner would actually make them work less. They become boss, let's say boss of myself. I want to become boss of myself, all those ideology. But right now it seems like a lot of us are still, like, we are still doing much more work than we are supposed to. So for us, and I know a lot of people also would be this, is there easier ways to really become really make our business easy or both. So that is why we built Rackleblock Technologies, and we also ourselves as a software company in the own. Yeah, we're a digital growth partner. So whether you are a small startup or you're a growing small, medium-sized business or enterprise, our own job is to help you with the workload, to take it off your shoulders using technology. So what we do is we build tailored websites, we develop custom software, and we create digital marketing strategies that will not just make you look digital, that you are going digital, but it will also improve your sales, and it will improve your process. So we want you to stop trading your time for money, and we want you to start using digital tools so that you can be much more productive. And currently, our process to engage with us, it is very, very simple. You don't even need to be a tech expert for you to start using this to us. You can book an appointment, you can reach out to us, and we can schedule a call. Because so based on this, we can analyze your business, how you currently work, what work on business, and after we use propose rather solution that would reduce your manual labor, and it will increase your revenue. And that is why we are trying to, our core goal is to help businesses to survive and thrive. And one of the reason we are doing, that's one of the reasons we are doing, having this webinar today, because the business landscape in Nigeria is currently shifting. The new tax laws taking effect in 20. We are talking about exemption thresholds for some businesses. We are looking at stricter requirements for digital record keeping. And really, if you are not prepared, uh, if you are prepared, it might be challenging, And I know that there are a lot of rumors, a lot of should I call them bad news, bad or misinterpretations, conceptions around the tax laws that are going around right now. So that's why Rackleblock Technology, we've invited experts to break it all down for you all, or for us all, because we also are a business and we are also trying to learn and get a lot of things from this. So, and we believe that if we are all prepared for the tax laws, because as the government are saying, taxes are not meant to, they're not meant to crumble uh, or to crumble businesses or stifle businesses. They are meant to make us get prepared, and it can create mass opportunity if you are very much prepared, if you prepare for them. So today, please relax and get your notepad ready, and let us look how to position your business for the future. So today, generally, our agenda for the today uh, will be so direct and fast with them, so that because we believe that a lot of us have tight schedules, so it will be straight and we'll be fast with it, and we'll be within time. So today, our agenda, the first thing we'll do today, after my brief introduction about block technology, is we are going to talk about the tax laws will be explained into the major reason we are here. And Mr. Said will talk to us about the tax laws. Will present to us for about 20 minutes. Then after then, we would all have chances to ask questions around the tax laws for about 20 minutes. Then we have our second speaker, which is Mr. Olamide, who is Mr. Mina Olamide. He'll be speaking to us around business registrations, why you need to register your business, differences between business name and being registered as a company, benefits you can get as when you are a limited liability company or when you have a business name. So he will be talking to us about that for 10 minutes, and we can ask our questions 10 minutes. Then lastly, I'll be talking again, introducing also to Raku Ledger. That's a new product that is in the pipeline that we are currently working on. And then at the end of it all, we'll bring it up to a close. So thank you so much. And as the speaker is speaking, please, you can use the reaction button to just show that we are following, and to just encourage them to speak more than that saying yes or not, that they can, that we are truly following. So no further ado, invites me to welcome our first speaker, Mr. Said Ani Kaye. So chartered accountant and a tax specialist with extensive experience in interpreting and implementing the new tax laws. He has delivered expert guidance on complex tax matters, corporate tax planning and compliance, and is currently the tax manager at Huawei. I know the pronunciation might be different. I don't know, but pardon me. He's currently a tax manager at Huawei, and he has worked with some top organizations in time past like MTN, UBA, Fossil Mazars, and others. And he has been helping businesses navigate these complex tax and regulatory systems with clarity and strategy. So, guys, join me to welcome Mr. Saeed to speak to us about the tax laws. Thank you. Mr. Saeed, you have 20 minutes, and I might break in maybe 5 minutes. I will give you 5 minutes notice before the end. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. AY. Good morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
So, good afternoon. Thank you. Like you said, my name is Said Anikai Adewale. Being a tax expert, please feel free to ask questions relating to our topic of discussion. There's this saying that tax line in your business is very important to the extent that the tax authority will call themselves most important stakeholders in your business. And if that line is not properly monitored, it might mar a business. And that is the whole essence of this discussion. It's not a news that Nigeria introduced 4 tax acts recently, and it's going to be effective 1st January 2026, which is just a month time. Everybody will go into the new era of taxation in Nigeria. But what is important to us this afternoon is what is the relevant parts of this act that we need to look at that affect us as a person and those ones that affect us as a business. The 4 acts are Nigerian Tax Act, Nigerian Tax Administrative Act, Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Act, and the last one is Joint Revenue Board Act. Out of these 4 acts, the most important one relevant to us are just 2, Nigerian Tax Act and Nigerian Tax Administrative Act, all because the provisions of this act affect either you and me as individuals or our businesses. The other 2 relate to how the FRS, the IRSs, and other tax agency, how are they going to be monitoring and performing their functions within the tax space? Those other 2. And that is why the focus of our topic today or discussion will center around those 2 acts, Nigerian Tax Act 2025 and Nigerian Tax Administrative Act 2025. The Nigerian Tax Act has 204 sections. When you look at the whole provisions of the law, you see 204 sections, 13 schedules, and 9 chapters. What you find there is imposition and charging of tax. When we say imposition, why must I impose tax on you? And which provisions mandate that you should pay that tax? You find it in that Nigerian Tax Act. Please bear with me. Tax is technical, but I will try as much as possible to make it as simple as possible because most of us are not tax experts, and most of us probably understand a little bit of taxation, elementary part of taxation. So I will be as simple as possible. It also consolidates those acts we knew before now. The CIT 2004 as amended, the personal income tax, the petroleum profit tax, CGT, we call it capital gain tax, and any other form of taxation we had before. It has consolidated into a single act, meaning that we will no longer have CIT, we will no longer cite Peter as a relevant section, we will no longer talk about CGT. What we'll be talking about now is Nigerian Tax Act. We'll say according to Nigerian Tax Act. If you are referring to a particular section of the law to support your business, it must be this act. Introduction of development levy. What's also new that we've never seen before is introduction of development levy. There is a levy called development levy. We didn't have it in the past act, so we have it now to Nigerian Tax Act. For the Nigerian Tax Administrative Act, we have 144 sections, 5 chapters, and 4 schedules. Of this, we will see how the FRS, how the IRS, how are they going to be administering the taxation, administrative provisions of all taxes. You find it there. You will see registration requirements, how to file, how to pay your taxes. You see it in this act. It also contains all tax authorities who are the authority to collect this taxation, because if you don't know whom to give it to, you might have given it to a wrong tax authority. And that is why we are focusing on these 2 aspects of the changes. So what are the relevant provisions? What is important to you and me at this point is what are the relevant sections that I need to be aware of that will affect me if I don't pay attention to, that will also support my business if I need to explore. Okay.
Sorry, do you want to, in case you want to share, if you have any slide to share with us, you can share your screen.
I'm already sharing slide. I didn't know. Okay, so sorry. I was sharing slide. Oh, thank you for that. Oh, thank you for taking me back. Yeah, window. Is it visible now?
Yes. We can see
Awesome.
it now. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me do presentation mode. Okay. So I talk about the sections. What are the contents of these acts? I hope I'm clear to this point that we have 204 sections, 13 schedule, and 9 chapters in Nigerian Tax Act, and it contains charging provisions where to point to that you should tax me. If you refer to a particular section, if a tax authority comes to you and say you need to pay this tax, you ask the person what are the charging tax provisions, where in the tax law is saying you should tax me. That is charging provision of the act. You will see it in the Nigerian Tax Act 2004. Then we have consolidation of all the existing past acts, the CIT, the PIT, the CGT, whatever you can call it, that we had in the past. Everything has been consolidated in a simplified format into one code called Nigerian Tax Act 2004. Then we have introduction of development levy. Hope you can see my screen.
Yes, yes.
So we have development levy now introduced in Nigerian Tax Act. Then we go to Nigerian Tax Administrative Acts, which contain 144 sections, 5 chapters, 4 schedules. And that's the whole stuff for the Nigerian Tax Administrative Acts. But what is it talking about? How you pay your tax, how you file, how do you do registration? Those are the things you are going to see within that frame. So if you want to check anything, you know where to check. You don't go to the joint tax act. You don't go to the tax establishment act, because that relates more to the functions of the taxing authority, not to business owner, individual in Nigeria or affected by Nigerian tax laws. So relevant provisions of the Nigerian Tax Act actually affect you and I. That affect us is what we need to look at. How does it affect us positively or negatively? At the moment, we have taxable income as all income. It does not depend on where you earn the income. All income is taxable except specifically exempt. If you find a provision within the law that exempt that income, that is only when you will not tax that income. Say for instance, somebody is earning income virtually, another person is earning the income traditionally. Both are becoming taxable. In the past, what we have in the act, in the old act, you can only tax traditional activity, because the people that established the law did not envisage there will be a time when businesses will be virtual, businesses will be online, business will be real-time digital. But the updates in the business arena has made it mandatory to change the regulations, and that is why all income, we say all income is taxable except you are exempt. You are exempt if it's a gift. Get me right. It doesn't mean when you are when you are instructing your business partners, your customer, just put gift there. Putting gifts as description will not be enough. Substance over form, we say. The tax authority will check what is the form, why the payment, in the real form of it, not just the legal form or the form they can see. Grants also, given to someone or given to a business. If it's a grant, it's also not taxable. Then we'll also see that your first income as an individual, when you earn an income, the first 800,000 become tax exempt. And many other ones you will see within the tax law that are exempt. We will see few exemptions and many taxable. So we talk about the tax rate as well. It's good to know what is taxable and what rate at what rates. Now, is that you are a small business or you are non-small business? We don't have medium-sized business any longer. In the past, we used to have small, medium, and large business having different rates. But now, you either belong to a small-scale business or other companies. If you are a small-scale business, you are taxed at zero. Your income is taxed at zero, meaning that you are not going to pay any CIT, so to speak. The income tax, the tax on your profit will be zero if you are small. When are you deemed small? When you have a turnover, your revenue is 100 million plus your total asset of 250 million. When this is checked, that your revenue is 100 million and your total asset is no more than 250 million, it means that you are a small company. There is a clause there. You must not be operating under a professional service level. Say, for instance, I'm a chartered accountant. I have a firm of accounting. Whether I'm making enough or not does not concern the tax authority. In as long as I'm a professional service provider, I become taxable. The reason I understand that the reason is because majority of professionals, they know how to arrange their books, and that is why they are not giving professionals that kind of exception. But in small scale business, the market woman and any other person, artisans, any other person in that category that are not making up to this threshold, they are called small business. They are not to pay tax. And that's why government is saying, if you look at the statistics, the number of these small businesses are far more than we think of. And that's why they are saying they are giving support to these people in terms of taxation. They also want them to grow according to the government. I also believe that other companies are to pay the standard rate of 30%. Before, we used to have 20%. We don't have 20% for medium again. So for an individual, you become resident in Nigeria when you have spent 183 days. That's what we had before. Or you have spent more than 183 days. But it goes beyond 183 days or not 183 days now. If you have your family member, your family are in Nigeria, you station your family in Nigeria, you are taxable in Nigeria, you are tax resident in Nigeria. If you have your control in Nigeria, let's say for instance, a business owner has registered in US and from registered business in US, but operating in Nigeria, is a Nigerian resident. According to new tax act, you can't claim to be because you have registered in the US, because the central control is happening in Nigeria. That is when you become taxable in Nigeria. The definition of Nigerian company has also been expanded. Before now, we used to have limited liability partnership as a controversial business type. Some will say it's an enterprise, it's a partnership. Some will say it's a limited company. And what to pay as tax, what not to pay as tax become a dispute. But now it has been properly positioned. It is a company. And once you're a company, you are going to be taxed under these acts. Before now, we also had what we refer to as minimum tax. When we say as a percentage of turnover, a company could have turnover and still have loss at the end of the day. And companies that have been paying tax when they are making loss, they are not being fair to. As a result, the mode of calculating or the model of calculating minimum tax has been changed to what we refer to as global minimum tax. Under this, you are to pay a tax not less than your 15% of your ETR. ETR is effective tax rate. What is effective tax rate? The tax you pay to your income. So your effective tax rate, what income have you made? What tax have you paid? Let's check the two. It should not be more, it should not be less than 15%. This apply only to a company in Nigeria that has 20 billion and more turnover, or a company in Nigeria that's part of a multinational. Say for instance, MTN belongs to multinational company, MTN Group. MTN Nigeria should not report a tax of less than 15% of its ETR at any point of accounting year, any year. It must be 15% and above. But if you're a small company, you will not be impacted by this minimum tax, meaning that minimum tax is not for small business. When you are setting up your accounting process as a large company, you need to consider this. Capital gain tax, before now we had capital gain tax as 10% of your capital gain. But now, there's no difference between capital gain and other income. That is why income includes gains. So it's also taxable at 30%, except you are a small company that will be taxed at 0. And when you are making loss now, if there's a loss in when you dispose of a chargeable asset, you are also getting a relief for the loss for the similar assets. So, like we said earlier, we now have development levy, 4% accessible profits. Before now, accessible profit is after you have adjusted for some differences that cause as a result of the fact that tax rule is different from accounting rule. We call it permanent difference and temporary differences. When you have taken care of this, what you arrive at is what referred to as accessible profits. Your accessible profit multiplied by 4% give you a development levy. But you pay this development levy if you are not a small company and if you are not a foreign company. If you are not a Nigerian company, you are not to pay 4% development levy. If you are a small company, you are not also to pay development levy. That is the exemption under development levy. And what this development levy is representing, what we used to have as education tax, we will not have education tax again. We will not have Nigerian Police Trust Fund again, levy. We will not have NESENI again. We will not have those ancillary taxes again, but we will have the 4% to be shared in a proportion already determined by all those agencies of government that used to share those taxes when it's collected. And by administrative, the administrative function is given to the FRS now. So moving to the incentive, what are the benefits that we are going to gain? The NTA has replaced the pioneer status incentive we used to have. We used to have what we refer to as PSI. When company will apply, gets initial 3 years, can be extended for the next 2 years, and say 5 years, I'm not going to pay tax. And company, probably after that, they will still move from the Nigerian territory. They will move it to a special tax environment called free trade zone to also operate free trade zone. When you are in free trade zone, you are not to pay tax on your activities. So people were getting exemption when they are under pioneer, and later on they move to free trade zone. Nigerian government has looked at this as unfair way of creating incentive. Nigeria has now introduced what we refer to as new economic development incentive. This incentive will grant 5% of annual tax credits on the qualifying capital expenditure for up to 5 years from your production start dates. You will have 5% of your annual QCE. We will see what we refer to as QCE. And once you are into priority sector, they've categorized priority sector, manufacturing, agriculture, and the like as priority sectors. Mining, if you are in these sectors, you can benefit this incentive. Another thing is the allowance structure has also changed. Before, we used to have series of capital allowance computation, I would say 25%, 10%, 50% differently for different set of assets. It has been simplified to class 1 asset, class 2, class 3 assets. For class 1 asset has its own rate, class 2 asset has its own rate, then class 3 asset has its own rates. We'll see that in the subsequent slide. Employment income for us individuals. We will have been hearing all the news that, oh, your net pay, your take home is going to reduce. Depends on how much you are earning. If as an individual or enterprise, if you are an individual specifically, you are earning nothing more than 20 million. We've calculated it. You are not going to be affected. You are going to have a marginal increase in your take home. But if you are earning about 20 million on an annual basis, you are going to have an increase in your tax pay and a decrease in your take home, meaning that this tax is trying to tax more people that earn more and tax less people that earn less, and we call it a progressive tax nature. It's been practiced across the globe, and Nigerian is in need to adopt this practice. I will show us how we calculate this. It's very important that there's a new introduction into this calculation. We call it rent relief. Is that you are able to get 500,000 naira maximum on annual basis as a relief, or 20% of what you have paid and you have evidence for as your rent pay for the year as a relief. When we say a relief, it means what is not going to be taxed. So if you don't pay rent, you are living in your apartment, owner occupier apartments. If you are parents, if you are paying interest on mortgage, you need to also take it as deduction, as a benefits. Benefits in kind, given to a staff in respect of rent accommodation is now limited to 20% of gross income. So how do we calculate when, let's say, a staff is earning 20 million? That 20 million will be broken down by the company to different lines. They say basic, housing, transport, wherever. At the end of the day, they say gross. So what the FRS or what the LRS or what the tax authority want to see is what is the gross. You can manage the process the way you want, and that is where tax planning comes in. You manage it the way you want so that the effects will affect you positively. Let's say we now have gross. After the gross, you consider what we refer to as eligible deduction before you talk of tax rate at all. What are the eligible deductions? Have I pay NHF voluntary now? Before now, we used to have it as compulsory, but it's not voluntary. If you have pay National Housing Fund, take it as a deduction. NHIS, pay by an employee, take it as a deduction. Life assurance premium is a deduction. Employee pension contribution, that 8%, not the 10% contributed by the employer, is also a deduction. Gratuity, what is paid to an employee when he's leaving an employment, but it must not be predetermined. Take it as a deduction. Interest or mortgage, like I said earlier, take it as a deduction. Then the new rent relief, either 20% or 500,000, whichever one is lower. Take it as a deduction. When you have taken this as a deduction, whatever remain will become taxable income. What you had before is gross income. From gross income, you have taken some deduction to arrive at your taxable income. Now your taxable income, you now take away 800,000. You are not going to tax it. The next 2.2 million, you are going to tax it as 15%. Whatever you are getting as from 2.2 million, you write it somewhere. If you still have enough that can take care of 9 million, take it at 18%. But if you don't have enough, that's what is remaining. Tax it at 18%. Add it together. Whatever you get is tax you're going to pay. That you are going to pay on that income. So as an employee, I can check what has been deducted and what should be left for me to take home. I will be able to know whether I've been cheated or not. So if I've earned enough, I can graduate. That's why I call it progressive. The next 13 million, if I can still have 13 million, I can tax it as 21%. But in the situation that is not possible, whatever is left, I will still tax it at 21%. I will add up all these taxes. I will take it. I will pay to government, relevant tax authority. Then the remaining balance will be given to me as an employee. It's been made simple. The reform committee, they've created a kind of tax engine that will calculate based on all these parameters. Once you slot in your parameter, it will give you what you have to pay as tax. The link is here. After this discussion, you can copy this, but when we share the slides, you will get it there. So moving on, then the stamp duty has been simplified. Before now, who pays the stamp duty because it was controversial. Now, if you are the one receiving service, you should be the one paying the stamp duty. Take note of this. Everybody want to push the stamp duty to others. Then what you pay as stamp duty when you have rent or lease of 10 million or less, you're not going to compulsorily stamp duty it. But if you so wish, you can do so. But you have the relief now as an exception. Relief from double taxation. Before now, we used to have what we call Commonwealth tax. That is no longer obtainable. We now have unilateral relief, meaning that if you are paid tax elsewhere and you have to pay tax in Nigeria also, Nigeria will consider whether there is a bilateral arrangement between the two countries. It does not matter. Nigerians can self-handedly give you a unilateral tax relief. They will give you some credits. Nigeria is willing to give some credits unilaterally. Relief is limited to the tax rate in Nigeria, subject to the inclusion of income in accessible profits. You must have declared it in your income, and it will not be more than what you have to pay as tax in Nigeria, so that Nigeria will not be running at loss. Then, when you have a business restructuring, you must carry your record at costs. You must carry your record at cost if you have a business restructuring. We need to take note of this. Revaluation value will not be considered any longer. Then expense deductibility. When you are importing, you have not paid VAT, you have not paid custom duty, and you want to take deduction in your book, it's not possible any longer. You need to have paid to custom authority before you'll be able to pay deduction. As a new business, within 6 years, whatever you spend in moving your business is also becoming deductible. Then if you pay tax, if you pay a particular transaction in a particular currency, the expense incurred in a currency other than Nigerian currency, the margin that we have now, if you have parallel market price and official market price, this one is considering it that expense incurred in the currency other than Nigeria naira may only be deductible to the extent of its Nigeria equivalent. They will check what the CBN rate. So parallel market to official market, the differential might not be deductible, and that's why they are trying to make the two rates to be equal as much as possible. Then capital allowance table has also been amended. We see the table now, 10% for all these assets, 20% for class 2 assets, then 25% for class 3 assets. Now we have VAT still at 7.5%, but you can now take full deduction. Before now we have Section 17 that limits what you can deduct. What you can deduct, they will say is not claimable when it is expensed. It is not claimable when it is capitalized. But now, either capitalized or expense is becoming claimable as tax. The exception of small business from VAT obligation. As a small business, you are not obligated for VAT. You are VAT exempt. Take notes. Claiming of input VAT and refund. Before now, refund was difficult because there will be audit. Now, there won't be any audit. You can submit your claim. You can get it if it's VAT. If it's other taxes, you still go through refund. Threshold, we mentioned it before. VAT for small company, we've talked about it. Withholding tax, small companies with turnover of 25 million or less, we should not also suffer withholding tax. This is also mentioned. Then returns. Small companies are obligated to file returns on all types of taxes except VAT. You have exemption for filing VAT, but once you clock the threshold of 25 million, that obligation becomes mandatory on you. What to expect going forward? We'll see that it will be clearer for us how to interpret the law. It's no longer difficult. Then penalty, what to pay, you will see. It's not difficult. It's simplified. Compliance will not be difficult any longer, and that's why we have moved to this era of new tax acts. Then, if you need support, there is an office, Ombudsman office, where you can go to that will help you address your tax matter. The FRS, the government is trying to create that to assist small businesses and individuals that are probably unlettered or that don't have sophisticated tax practice within their system. So our recommendation is you need to register and you need to regularize. If you don't register, it's an offense. And if you now give business, or you give business to a contractor, you are giving business to a supplier, to a vendor that does not have TIN, tax identification number, you will be charged 5 million naira penalty, because you are helping, you are aiding non-compliance. It's there in the law now. Aside the fact that you fail to register as a business, as a taxpayer, you fail to register, you have to be paying penalty, 25,000 from the first month, 50,000 subsequently for failure to register. These are there in the new acts. I don't know. It's not an excuse. We just need to see, why must I register? Before now, if you are operating as an informer, you pay less tax. And if you are operating as a company, you pay more tax. But now they've made it even more better to pay, to be a company than being an informer. And that is why all what we have been discussing, that you can be a small company, we have benefit for you. But for individuals, for enterprise, you are going to pay personal income tax. You are going to pay under personal income tax. That band will apply to you. It's only 800,000 that will be forgiven. Every other income that you are making is going to be taxed. Unlike when you have more threshold, 100 million for companies. Notify the authority of business suspension. When you don't want to operate again, let FRS know, let LRS know, let other RS know where you are operating. Let them be aware, because there are penalty for not notifying them. Then you need to avoid penalties. Penalty might be huge and might crumble some businesses in the nearest future if care is not taken, because FRS are very determined. They are working with EFCC and other agencies to ensure that this new tax act work. What we also advise is you should explore the new incentive as much as possible. We've talked about this. Also, you need to adopt technology. FRS has already introduced e-invoicing. And if you don't allow e-invoicing into your business, you have to pay 1 million naira for not allowing it. It's there in the new act. They will not tell you that this is the penalty. It's already written. They are looking for people that will be used, or business that will be used as scapegoats, and will not be the one. So it's always good to make system work for you. And that's one of the reasons why we are discussing with you this afternoon. We received some of the questions. We received so many questions, but we streamlined the questions into this. Some are, do I need to have a tax ID now, even if I am abroad or run a business, informal businesses? Once you are running a business, whether you are home or abroad, you need to register. That's my answer, and that is in line with the law. If I live overseas, will I have to file tax return in Nigeria? No, if you don't do any business in Nigeria, you don't just send money to Nigeria. Oh, upkeep for parents and all that. You are not doing any business in Nigeria. But once you start doing business in Nigeria, you are becoming obligated. Yeah. Will remittances, gifts, or money I send home to be taxed? We've talked about this. If it is gifts, no tax. But if it's for business, once that is turned to business, let's say my brother is giving me a gift, and it's a vehicle, and I've turned that vehicle to Uber. It becomes a business immediately. It's no longer a gift at that point. As small businesses and SMEs still exempt from corporate tax under the new act. If there is no SME, small and medium times, well, what we have now is small business that's taxed at 0, but other businesses, they are taxed at 30%. If foreign earned income is going to be taxed in Nigeria, depends. If you are in Nigeria and you have economic tax in Nigeria, you are controlling it in Nigeria, you are becoming taxed on your global income. So you are going to be taxed. Which income or assets now remain? Let me see the question again. So which income or asset now attract tax or remain exempt? We've talked about the income that is tax exempt. Then assets, when it is less than 25 million, is also becoming exempt. I think I need to pause here. I've spent much time. If you have question, please
Yeah,
let's ask ourselves. Sorry,
yeah,
I just
thank
need
you.
to
Yeah,
complete it.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I actually also left you to talk well on it because it was interesting and really it was really eye opening. Thank you so much for that. Please, if you have any question for him, please raise your hand and I will call you to talk. You can use the Android button to raise your hand. Okay,
No worries.
first
Sorry, how
person.
many questions are we able to entertain so that I will let them know beforehand? How many questions are we entertaining?
Okay, let me see. Only people that two people have raised their hands, and
Okay.
so maybe about 6 questions. So because I
Mark,
will
let's make
also
it 5, please.
5. Okay, 5 questions.
Thank you.
Okay, I will also ask some questions. Okay, Adeni Bakari, please, your question. Unmute your mic and you can speak fast. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Said, for your insight. So I have a few questions, and one of my questions relates to the unbanked market, where the people in the market, the local market, the artisans. How best do you think these people can be captured? Because definitely a lot of them they do more of cash transactions than electronic transactions. How do you think this new tax law can integrate them appropriately into the tax system? Then
Okay.
secondly, I'm also looking at we expanding the tax base to the fact that to more NGOs or something. For example, maybe um, areas where people don't declare taxes as an NGO, or they run an NGO and they generate a lot of revenues from the NGO as a result of what they get from the NGO to do business. How do they get being taxed? And under which circumstance do law or the law provisions allow them to be taxed?
Okay. Let me answer that first. Thank you very much, Mr. Bakari. For the first question, the on-tax segment of the markets. First of all, the tax authority need to work with data. You cannot tax what you don't have. And there is paucity of data in Nigeria, no doubt about that. To the extent that the tax authority can get data, they will tax these segments. But I want us to believe that it's going to happen in phases. It's going to take a time, but it will happen. The government is trying to partner with market leaders to ensure that they get data. And once they get data, they work with the data they are able to gather. It does not mean once they get your data, you become taxable, but they will need to work with the law, within the confine of the law. And that is why they are trying to even make this law, interpret it into different, or have it in different versions of languages we have in Nigeria. Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, so that you will not say because I'm unlettered, I can't read English. That is why I'm not aware of these provisions. And also, they need to work with the media. On the radio, on the TV, they will educate the public. They are trying to do that. And in the few days to come, we will see that happening within the space. On the second question, NGO have always been taxed when they do business. But when you are an NGO operating as humanitarian means that you are not for profit making. You are not also distributing profits to your people. You are not to be taxed on that activities. It exists all across the globe. NGO exists, but like you said, there are abuses in that area. People organizations hide under NGO to not to pay tax, but that will not happen again. That is why the money in your account, you need to be able to explain what it's meant for. The money that enters your account, you need to be able to explain what it's meant for. What is going outside your account, you need to be able to explain what it's meant for. In fact, it's there in the law that based on threshold, the banks need to be reporting on a quarterly basis on half-year basis and non-half basis, what enters individual accounts and businesses accounts based on a particular threshold.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Said. So because of our time, I would, the people that would ask questions, please let it be short and straight. And also our speaker also will be able to answer it short and direct also, so that we can move on quickly. Mutiu Alimi, please unmute your mic and speak. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Said and everyone. I mean, it's been very insightful. So I want to ask, so from the perspective of an employee that does not have a business, gets salary at the end of the month, and there are times where somebody just sends you money, maybe your husband, for example, sends you money to buy stuff in the house. So how is all of that going to be? Is that going to also be calculated as income? So I get money from my husband, for example. So a wife gets money from her husband, and maybe
I get
200,000.
your question. I got your question, sir, Mr.
And
Matthew.
things like that, yes.
So straight answer to the question. Your employer has obligation to remit your tax payable on monthly basis. If you don't have any other income, then you just go to the portal of the taxing authority, fill in it. You don't have any other thing to declare. Everybody here is a self-assessor. You are to declare on the tax engine of the tax authority. This is what I earned for this period on a yearly basis. You are meant to be doing that, and you have what refer to a tax clearance certificate that will clear you. If you don't have any income to report, don't report. But let's say you are earning rent. Even if you don't declare it, with this rent relief, they will get to know and they will calculate it, the tax to be paid for you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Said. Just a quick follow-up question. Are we to do that? Can we do that individually, or we have to employ a tax consultant to do that? Or do we have to go to the tax office for that?
Either way works. If you want to do it individually, it works. But because of the complexity, you might have somebody to do it on your behalf. The person will ask you a few questions on your income. If there's any other thing, you let the person know. You know, sometimes we say income is confidential. You don't want everybody to know how much you are earning. Just go straight. Let's say LRS, go to their portal. You will have what referred to as payer ID. Now they want to unify everything. Make it unique number. You don't need to have payer ID there, TIN there, payer ID there. Just one. This is your tax ID. They are coming up with that. Once you have that tax ID, go to the engine, declare your income yourself, print out your clearance. You are covered. Except they now see that they've gathered some information from outside, contrary to what you've declared. They will now ask you to come and pay additional tax.
Okay, thank you so much. Charles Sidoni, please, your question quickly.
Well done, sir.
Hello, are you there? Okay.
Let's call someone else, please.
Yes, I think his network.
Yes.
Akonde Abraham or Abdraman. Akonde Abdraman. Unmute your mic and ask your question quickly. Okay.
Yeah. Hello. Good afternoon.
Afternoon,
Yeah, good
Mr.
afternoon.
Akonde.
Your question quickly. Thank you.
Okay. So, thank you so much for the session. It's been very, very insightful. All right. So, my question is this: I'm working somewhere, right? And where I'm working, they remit tax monthly. However, I am working remotely with someone else as well, with another employer. Also, I have a business that I'm running. So how do I manage the other two? I understand that the first part is sorted with my employee, but this other two now, how do I like manage it? Can you like provide for that information?
So
Thank you.
I will advise you how to plan it. If I don't want to advise you to benefit you with this, I'll just say take everything to the task net. It will increase your band. Instead of the first 800, 0, next one, 15%, next one. You understand? To have a graduated band, that will not work for you. You are going to pay much more tax. Instead, what I advise is formalize the business. I want to believe it's not a big company that should be taxed at 30%. It should still be under 0. I want to believe. Formalize it, register, and let it run individually. Don't combine you as a person with business as an entity. So that you can grow very well as a business. The one that you operate virtually, you can also declare it under business additional income. Or if you so like, you can bring it under the personal income tax, depending on how you want to structure it. I think I should stop there. I'm not the tax authority, and I don't know who joins this call, so I'll not be as if I'm hitting and beating. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you so much. So, Mr. Akonde Abraham, what is trying to say, what I feel in my, it is not all information that can be released here or spoken about here. Maybe you should find someone that you can consult and reach out privately to a tax consultant to advise you appropriately. Oluwagbemi Isaac, please go on with your question.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ayobami, for hosting this, and also to the presenter, Mr. Said. Thank you so much. So my first question is, how do we navigate, maybe for someone who move funds around their accounts, are they taxable events? I don't know, will it increase my income tax? Like, if, for example, I'm someone that maybe splits money across different bank accounts.
It will not.
Then second question.
It will not. Let me quickly answer. It will not, provided that you have a good record for your transfers.
I don't know if you can answer the second one based on your last feedback on the last person. So I wanted to ask for those who earn in foreign income, what would be your advice? One, because of the change in markets rates on maybe how you convert your foreign income into Naira in quotes. Then also, what would be your advice for remote workers, right? Able to also leverage on tax benefits. Would you say, okay, try to move towards business so you can properly leverage tax benefits?
Virtual workers are now taxable. No two about it. And we are one of the targets, let me tell you, because they believe guys are making a lot virtually. So what I would advise you to do is to formalize. Formalize so that you can arrange your business before they arrange it for you.
Does it have a limited liability community or?
Either way, if you are a limited liability company, I want to believe you are still not going to be tax under 30. The reason being that, let me give you, what you are earning is margin. If you are reporting margin as your profits, as your turnover, reporting margin as your turnover, not the cash received. You understand what I mean? What comes in as collection as your turnover, that's not your turnover. Your turnover, but you people want to report the entire value as your turnover, but in your account, let your margin be your turnover. That is the service you are performing, is on margin. I think we can quickly take just one more question and wrap it up and close this session, please. Mr. I can't hear you again. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm saying that right now, Mr. Unduka Power, you are our last person to ask a question. So later, we'll send an email to ask. If you have any other question, you can send us an email and we can forward to Mr. Said to answer them later. All right, Mr. Unduka Power, your question quickly, please.
Hey, good afternoon, sirs. Yeah, so my question is, I'm a transporter, so I have about 3 vehicles where some money is coming daily, some comes weekly, some comes as per services. So now, this money is come, and sometimes they still go out for maintenance for the vehicles and also to get other things in running the business. So how do I handle my taxation? Because currently it is not I won't say it's a business. It's just like a side hustle. So how do I go around this?
I get you, sir. Let me answer you. Thank you. So
Thank you,
formalize. register your business as a company. What comes in, refer to them as income in your accounting. What goes out, refer to them as expense in your accounting. Whatever is left is profit to be taxed, not to be taxed in particular. You need to consider some things within the tax law. Do you have any other thing to consider based on the tax provisions? Then get accessible profits. When I say other things, if you have something that you capitalize, you call it capital item. Maybe you have furniture you have in your office, but you said it's just a side hustle. So once you have taxable profits, you are going to apply the tax rate, either 0 or the 30%. Most of Nigerian companies, indigenous companies, they will probably be under 0, tax under 0. Most of them will be taxed under 0. I want to
All
believe.
right. All right, sir. Thank you so much
A
for
follow-up question, sir.
follow up. Okay.
Okay,
Quickly
let's give him please.
Okay. So these monies now, if I'm to formalize the company, are they all to come to the same bank accounts?
It doesn't matter whether the same bank accounts or different bank accounts. In as long as you have the 10 digits NUBAN, it's traceable. You can aggregate your transactions. But I would say for proper coordination and maybe for your own personal reason, you might want to consider having more than one account so that your business partners, they'll be able to reach out to you, pay into the account. And if there's any issue, pay into an account, you'll be able to give the other account to them. Don't allow this tax law or tax rule to affect your business. Be the one to take hold of it, control your business with it, and explore the opportunity within it. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Said. Thank you so much for your time. I know you have another engagement right now. Thank you so much. I would communicate with you if they have other questions, and I will talk later at the end of the meeting. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Everyone. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Said. Yeah, I believe we all learned quite a lot of things from that presentation. So the main thing I think he kept on mentioning is about formalizing your account, your business, formalizing your business and all. So right now, that's what will lead us to the next to our next speaker, which is Mr. Olamide. He will be the one to speak to us about business, the different type of business or different type of ways you can formalize your business. So for now, you will be able to know whether you should register your business as a business name or limited liability company or an NGO. So he will give us the differences and whatever and ways that you can maximize this formalization. I know some of us also have registered already. You have these businesses, so it will tell us how we can explore and things that we can do. So Mr. Olamide is the founder of Chalcedony Digitals Limited, and the business is into business development, and their goal is to help businesses translate complex ideas into simple and usable products. Their services include company formation, business registrations, regulatory compliances, and other business support services. So join me to welcome Mr. Olamide Egbetola to speak. Thank you. Mr. Olamide, you can unmute your mic. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Ayo. Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a wonderful session so far. So briefly, we'll be talking about registration, and this is one of the major important things we need to do as a business owner or as someone working as an employee or anyone. People tend to jump into branding before registering their company or business. But I would advise that you get your business registered first before anything branding, because some people tend to like, oh, I've been using this particular company name for years, for over 5 years, over 10 years, and you eventually find out that someone else is already using the name. Please, can you hear me, everyone? Please.
Yes, we can hear you, but I don't know if you have any slide you want to share. So if you want to share any slide, you can share
Thank
right
you.
now.
So I'll just continue. So registration is okay. All right, I'll just continue. So registration is the very important, and that's the first step you need as a business owner. And we have different categories. The first category is business name. Our business name is a social enterprise. We can also call it a one-man business. It's basically into two types. We have a sole proprietorship and partnership. Sole proprietorship business is you are the one in charge of your business, and a partnership business is you have one or two people that are running the business together. So just as Mr. Said mentioned, if you have a business name, you'll be paying tax in as much your threshold is over 800K. So while a limited liability company, one of the advantages of limited liability companies that many people tend to have different services. You can combine several services together and register it as a limited company. For example, you run a logistics business, you run a cleaning, maybe a dry cleaning business, you run another, maybe agriculture or anything. So if you are registering as a limited company, you can combine all these services together. There is something we call memorandum of association. So you write an object for the company, like these are the kind of services we provide. So we can combine all those services together as a limited company. Instead of registering one today and next tomorrow or in the next few months, you have another idea. You can register them, you can incorporate all those services, you can incorporate all those businesses together as a limited company. So those are one of the advantage. But for business name, you just have to strictly pick one particular niche, one particular category. Before we were allowed to like add several businesses together too. But now the Corporate Affairs Commission just upgraded their website a few months ago, around July, August. So you are only allowed to pick one category if you are a business owner. If you're into logistics, you can only choose logistics. If you're into farming, you can only choose farming. But for limited company, you can combine several services together. So another advantage of limited liability company is that, unlike before, just one person cannot register a limited company. But now, one person can register a limited company. Although you can add a director, you can also have a company shareholder. A director can be your partner, a director can be your business partner, and also a shareholder can also be your business partner. So all those things has their own advantages as well. So why do you need to register? Okay, there's another category, which is incorporated trustees. Under this category, we have NGO, we have charity, we have non-government organization, we have foundations, religious organization, maybe churches, mosques. So those are incorporated trustees. We can have non-profit organization under it. But the main category where people register are either you register as a business or you register as a limited liability company. And one of the advantage of registration is it gives you a legal identity. It gives you a legal identity and it helps boost your business credibility. No one would be interested in doing business with someone that is not registered. So when you have a registered brand, it helps boost your business credibility, and it also gives you funding access. It gives you funding access, and it helps you protect your name. The first thing I mentioned earlier was a lot of people have been using the particular brand name for years, and by the time they are ready to register, they find out that, oh, this name is not available. Someone else has registered it. So before you do that branding, before you do that social media campaign, before you do that website, you should get your brand registered first. So you have a peace of mind, oh, this particular name is available, then we can go ahead with it. So once the registration is done, you can now proceed with branding. So governments won't do business with an individual. You need a contract from the government. You want to partner with a particular government agency. They won't grant you that request. They won't grant you that contract or partnership or anything. They want to ensure that, are you registered? They will even request for your CAC documents. And most times they always request for people that are running limited companies, because they will see the particulars of directors there, they will see the particulars of shareholders there, they will see the PSC, persons with significant control. So they just want to see who are in charge of this company. Every of your company information will be there as well. So another advantage is it helps you attract investors. When you have a registered company, it helps you attract investors. So other compliances, you also need it for travel. In most cases, they request for your CAC documents. If you are processing a travel document, they request for it as well. So all these things are very, very important. So I will just stop there. If you have any question, thank you so much, Mr. Ayo.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Olamide, for that. Thank you so much. Do we have anyone with any questions that we need to ask? So, is there anyone? If you have any question, just raise your hand, please. So, Mr. Olamide, my own question is this around this business registration thing. You mentioned that you can add several activities under a limited liability company. Like, for example,
Yes.
let's say I run, I have so many things I do currently. I can actually put them under that business limited liability company as different services. Is that what you're saying right now?
Yes, you can have several services. In
Oh,
as
okay.
much it is going to be under the umbrella of that name.
Yes.
There is going to be a general name for it. So all the services you are rendering will be listed as part of this company. So you can have several services under a particular company registration.
Okay. That are
And
even disjointed. Like, let's say, I said that are even disjointed. Maybe I'm running a professional service. Let's say maybe an advisor, then I have a farm, then I'm also a crypto trader. All these things can be under one business.
Of course.
Wow, that's interesting.
The only exemption is that if you want to register a group of company, that's another, it has a special requirement. Just like we have Dangote group of company now. Dangote is not a single company. Dangote has several companies. We have Dangote Sugar, we have Dangote Cement. All those companies are registered individually. So Dangote group of companies is like the parent company. And the requirement is, if you want to register a group of company, you must have 3 limited liability companies. Then the 4th company will form a group. But if you have registering 3 companies will cost you a lot, but as a single company, the best is you can list all the services you have, in as much as it is still under the umbrella of that parent name. So you can now add them as part of your services.
Thank you so much. All right. Dr. David, okay, please go on with your question. Doctor, if you are speaking, your mic is unmute your mic, please. Yeah.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So my question is, if you have I don't know if to call it a business. For example, I do some tutoring online. Can I also call that a business? And if yes, do I need to still register that with CAC? That's my question.
Okay. Every businesses should be registered in as much you are making profit from it. If is it profit based? If it is profit based, it is advisable you have it registered. Then you can have a company account. You can have a business account. One of the advantage of registering your business is you can create a business account with that name. So when your customers are paying, they won't be paying directly to your own personal accounts. They'll be paying to your business accounts. He mentioned, Mr. Said mentioned tax identification number the other time. Once you are registered, you also have this number, this tax identification number. It is part of the requirements in bank. If you want to open an account, they will ask for your CC documents and they will ask for your TIN. So those two things are what you need. Another thing is a tax validation, the TIN number validation. They just introduced that 3 years ago. Even having a TIN number is not enough. Most banks would ask you to go and validate it. So it is very, very important that you register it. So your customers, your students, if it requires them to be paying to you, then they can be paying directly to your business accounts. So this gives you a way to manage your finances and know which one is for my business, which one is for personal use. I hope answer your question, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Also, in addition, I know there are a lot of freelancers that we have, a lot of people working virtually. Based on what Mr. Said also mentioned, it is advisable that you formalize. And based on my own personal experience, from my personal knowledge of these tax laws, if you don't formalize, you will be taxed as an individual. And taxing the tax you would incur as an individual, the only exempt you have is, I think, about roughly 800,000 naira. Then maybe plus 20 plus up to 500,000 of your of rental income. But if you register as a business and you are operating under a business, you will the maximum threshold for you will be around, I think, 100 million in income. That's when you then be taxed. Anything below that means you are tax exempt. So try as much as possible to register a business, even for crypto traders, for virtual register a business. I think that's the major thing, the major line of action to take now. Mr. Akonde Abdulbazit, please go on with your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So my question now is that I, as a person, I am a crypto merchant or the different platforms. Like I do sell and buy USDT. So now, in my own case now, what would be the best advice you can give me in order for me to at least scale through all these stacks and everything?
Okay, thank you so much. Crypto, there are some words that this CAC don't allow for registration, but now they are allowing them. For example, this crypto trading, they don't allow us to register any word that is related to crypto, especially when there was a ban that time. But now they've lifted it. If you have a trading, the advice I always give my clients is they can use the word trading. Maybe Akonde Trading Services now, instead of using Akonde Crypto Hub or Akonde Crypto Enterprise. So you can use an alternative word for example, you are trying to coin out a name for your brand. You can use an alternative word instead of trading, instead of crypto, you can use trading. So, and you can register it as a business easily, because if you are to register as a limited company, you have to register it with 100 million share capital, and that will cost you a whole lot of money. You are not paying 100 million as your registration fee, but there is something we call share capital for every limited company registration. The minimum share capital is like 1 million naira. So we have some different categories of companies that you can't register them with 1 million share capital. This crypto you just mentioned now is 100 million share capital. So if you are registering that will cost you a whole lot. But if you want to register a business, then you have to look for an alternative name. And part of your category, the business category will not be crypto. You can just use trading services or general merchandise. So there's a way we can go around it and you still have your business registered. So you can have a registered business even as a crypto person. Yes, you can.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, thank
All
you.
right, thank you so much. So the major thing is formalize your account, register. So it will increase your minimum threshold, which is about 100 million. So do we have any other questions around this formalization? Okay, nothing yet, nothing for now. Thank you so much, Mr. Olamide, for your presentation. We really appreciate, and I believe every one of us we've learned quite a lot from this. So right now, on the last session that I'll be talking about, that is because I believe that all these things are so much so interconnected. A lot of us right now, I believe, if I asked a lot of us to show me their books, like how much income you've made, like if you are just to tell me, okay, last month how much did you make off, and is this something you can say? Do you know the exact value from the top of your head? How many customers do you have right now? Last year, how much profit did you make last year? Can you get that immediately? And so, because based on the registration form, a lot of us, where some people don't even have accounts. They run businesses, but they don't even have accounts. Some write it down on sheets, on notebook, on paper, and some people, only a few, use Excel spreadsheets. Nobody is using any accounting tool or any accounting software. And if you're not using, let's say, maybe an accounting software that you're just, let's say, writing on a note, or you have, let's say, some people, even it is WhatsApp messages that they use, like that's how they track their own business transactions. Normally, it is something called it's called financial blindness. That means you don't even know how much money is coming in, how much is going out, how much you earn. People just know that, okay, money just coming in. They are making sales. I sold 5 bottles yesterday, but they don't know how many bottles they sold 2025. So all these questions like who exactly owes you money right now, how much the person owes, a lot of us cannot answer them right on the spot. And it's because all these records are disjointed. Like we just have or it's called, another word is operational chaos. We just don't, like, everything is all systems are just everywhere, littered everywhere. And just know that having something like this makes you vulnerable to tax, because very soon, if the tax FIRS guys are asking you for your records in 2026, you cannot submit screenshot of WhatsApp chats. You will need reports, your accounting file, or your account statement. You must be able to present it for them to audit. So, and that's why we at Rackleblock, we are building something quietly, and it's called Rackle Ledger. That's the name we gave it. And it's just what it's going to do is just to assist you with this financial blindness. Like our vision is just to design an all-in-one accounting platform that is especially made for Nigerian business owners. But for now, why I'm bringing it up right now is because it is not yet finished. We are building it right now, and we see that there are a lot of accounting software out there, but most of them are too complex. Some are very expensive, or some are not really tailored to suit Nigerian businesses. So we are trying to build something that we think is cool and will be able to solve a lot of headaches around the accounting, taking your account. So, and for us to do something different, for us to be able to build something that you will actually need, that will solve your direct problem, we are looking for people to join our product community. So where we can receive feedback, direct feedback while we are building, and we'll be having interviews with you to know what your business. Some businesses, based on my friend, the few business owners that I've spoken to that run businesses, they've suggested that because most of them are business owners, like they have sales girls, they have people working with them. Like, is it possible to have a tool that what they are saying is different from what the other users or the other employees are saying? Like, is there a way for them to limit what the other employees can see if they are using this tool? So these are things that we are now putting in place and imputing into Rackle Ledger. So what we are trying to do is we want a solution that will be able to work for you also. If you would be interested, after this call, I would, maybe in the coming days, I will send an email to you all that have registered for this event. If you have not registered, you can still reach out to us at rackleblock@gmail.com, and we can connect and discuss more about how you can join this community. So by the time we launch this product, we are trying to launch as fast as possible. So it will be what you actually need. And we are so excited about this product, and we are looking at how it can benefit as more businesses as possible. So that as soon as anybody is asking you for your numbers, you are just checking the software, and you are saying how much you made, let's say in 2026, how much I said in 2024, in 2023, or 2025, as the case may be, as soon as you start using this tool. And you can also know where your money is going exactly. And all these, what's it called? You can also have records around businesses, around your business expenses. And you can know what stock is available. You can even see your payroll. So it's a very it's a comprehensive tool that will be able to answer all your most of your questions or all the issues you are having. So we invite you to reach out to us as soon as I sent out the link. Please fill the form and the wait list so that you can join us, and we can build tool that is really tailored to what you are doing, to your service or product you are selling. All right. Thank you so much for your time. We spent almost 1 hour. Yeah, I said 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes rather, because we started at 1:05 and this is 4:33. And this, one of us were able to learn quite a number of things today. But today is not really, you didn't waste your time. I believe we learned a lot. Nora Bassi, okay, your question, do you want to say anything? Okay, it was a mistake. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. And do we can. Bye.